Question number 71. Here we have a CSV file with complaints data. Okay, it have one column called logged. It have a date and time in the given format. In between date and time it have at. Okay, now we want to analyze this complaints by logged date and built-in date hierarchy. Okay, in this case what we can do, first simple step, as we can see in the previous example, we will try to split this with the delimiter of at. Okay, separate for date, separate for time, then we can proceed. But in this option that answer is not available. So what's the next option we can do? We can try to create column by example. Let's see this in Power BI. Okay, in Power Query Editor, this is the sample data, this is the column. Initially we try to use split column by delimiter at. It will split into two columns, then we can easily try to analyze. But here that option is not available, split by at. So next option we can create by example. Go to add column, columns from example, from selection. Okay, this column we try to type example like separate date, that's the value 31st, like that. Remaining values are there. Okay, if we give OK, now new column came with date. Then we can make that column, set the data type of new column to date. Okay, right click, change type to date. Okay, this is the easy step we can do. So option C is the correct one. Remaining options will wrong. You can see apply transformation to extract first 11 characters. Okay, if you try to extract the first 11, first of will come, but we need a date hierarchy, so option A will not work. Coming to option B, it will give only the year 2018, but we need whole date, so option B will not work. Coming to option D, it extract the last 11 character, but we need first 11 only with the date hierarchy, so option C is the question number 72. Here they have given three tables: product, sales, and date. It have relationship among them. Okay, let's see this in the Power BI. Okay, this is our sample table: product, sales, and date. It have relationship among them. This is the data for that date table and sales table, and this is the products table. Okay, now they want to create one measure that need to count the product category. Okay, how many product categories are there that it want to count? What's the condition? That product category count should be for the selected period. For example, they select any particular month. For that month, what's the product category they sold? Okay, that they need. They given that's measure. Now we want to select the appropriate values. See this in the Power BI. For your understanding, I have creating one table visual with product ID and product category. This is our product table. And coming to the sales table, okay, we have product ID and sales date. Okay, these are all the data we need. Now we have the measure given in the question. The first answer is distinct count. Okay, why we choose this distinct count? Because we need the product category count, so we go for a distinct count. We don't want the repeated counts. If stationery is two times in any products, we don't need two. We need the unique product category count, so only one. Next, sales. Here why we put sales? Because we need the product which is sold. We don't need all the products, we need the product which is sold. That's why the relationship among the tables or exist. Let's try to figure out this with example. I am creating one card visual for your reference. Check the product categories. Okay, now what they said in the question, they need to count the number of product categories for selected period. So I am creating one slicer with month. Okay, for our date we have a hierarchy of month, so we are having this here. Now try to see the formula. Okay, here you can see for January there is three data. Okay, P01, P01 and P04. Once you select the January, you can see this three data. What's the category for P01 and P04? Stationery, stationery. But here category count is 1. That's why we choose distinct count. Okay, it doesn't add the repeated values. Okay, it gives the unique value. So two stationery is available, but according to the categories count, it's one only. So we are choosing the distinct count. This is our required output. Likewise for February, you can see two products P02, P03. P02 is writing, P03 is book. Two different categories. So 2 is the count. For March, there is only one product category. For April, also there is only one product category. Okay, likewise, we figure out the product category. The sales takes place here because what are all the products sold, that only here counting. So we choose here as a sales. First option distinct count, second one sales. Question number 73. Here they said they have a Azure SQL database. It has the following parameters. Okay, like the name given here for development, test and production stage. These are all the corresponding server URL. Now we want to select the corresponding answer for the question. First we need to create how many parameters to achieve this connection, to achieve the connection with these three servers: development, test and production. We need one parameters. Why? Because here in server URL you can see all things are same, only development UAT prod is changing. So this one parameter we can create and assign a value, and according to that we can change the value for the corresponding stage. So answer is one parameter and the type is text. Here no other characters are there, so only text. Let's see how to do this in Power BI. Go to Power BI and click on transform data. Power Core editor will be open. Okay, here go to manage parameters. Okay, here click on new. Now we want to give new parameter name. For example, you can give server name. Okay, description type we are going to give as a text type. Okay, suggested values any. Now what's the current value we need to assign? This is the server URL that will be changing for three different environments. So first, for example, we assign with development environment dev dot database dot windows dot net. Okay, dev dot database dot windows windows.net. Okay, click on OK. Now server name is the parameter that is created. You can see current value is dev. Now whenever you want to establish a connection with this stage, for example development, the server URL, we have created a server name parameter with this value. You can easily take that parameter and give value here. For example, in Power BI, go to SQL server. If you want to establish a connection here, you can see one another tab is open. Click on this, you can see the parameter which one server will come here. Okay, instead of typing the value, you can go and use it here. If you want to change the server, for example, you don't need to establish a connection with dev, you need UAT. Okay, test production. In this case, you can change this parameter value in Power Query editor. Now here you can establish a connection with that particular server name parameter. Now it will establish a connection to test environment. If you want again prod environment, you can simply change the parameters value here. Okay, now here cancel we need to give. Now go to here and change it as prod. Okay, now again same ways you can establish a connection with server with that particular parameter which you have created. Now the connection will be go to the production stage. Okay, so we need one parameter, that to text type. So answer is one parameter and text type. Question number 74. Here they have given three tables: product, sales and date. It have relationship among them. Okay, now they want to do an analysis. Let's see. They want to calculate the total sales and quantity sold, number of sales transaction according to the month, day and quarter. All these analysis will done by the order was placed. Okay, which means order date they will take and do the analysis. This is the column available in the sales table. Now in the statement they said they want to remove the column from sales table. Okay, here these are all the columns in sales table. They want to remove this column, and if they remove the model size will reduce will when still supporting the required analysis. This we need to check yes or no. Let's see the sample data in Power BI. This is our sales table. Okay, this is our data, audit ID, product ID, last updated, and all. First question, if we remove last updated, will the size get reduced and the analysis will be supported? Yes or no? In our case, last updated we don't need because we just calculating the total sales, quantity sold, number of sales, all this thing according to the order was placed. Here no requirement for the last updated column. So if we remove this, the size will get reduced. Right click and remove, the size will get reduced, still we can able to do the analysis. So option is yes. Coming to the second one, product ID column. If we remove this column, the table size will reduce, still support the required analysis. No. Why? Because the answer is no. Why? Because here product table is related to the sales table with product ID. Okay, here product ID is the common column. So if we remove the product ID from sales table, then this relationship would be broken and we are unable to do our analysis. We are unable to filter the product from product table. So product ID removing will not support the analysis. So we need this product ID column. Coming to the third question, ship date column. Here you can see ship date column if we need this or not. Coming to our analysis, we need total sales, quantity sold, number of sales transaction. Here no need for ship date column. So if we remove this, the size will get reduced, the table size will get reduced. So right click and remove, and still we can able to do our analysis because here we don't need for ship date column. So first question yes, removing product ID no, removing ship date yes. Question number 75. Here they have given three tables, sales, country and HR, human resources. It have relationship among them. Let's see this in Power BI. Go to model view. These are all the three tables. It have relationship among them. Now what's the question? They have asked us to create row level security. Okay, for two roles, manager and CFO. Let's create one by one. First we need manager role. What's the requirement? Each manager must see only the data in sales and HR table for their own country only. This is the important point. Let's see. Go to report view. For your reference, I have created a table visual for the table. Country, this is the HR with all the four countries data. This is the sales for four countries data. Okay. Now, first requirement what each manager need to see their own country data in HR and sales table. For example, if we log in as a Srini, only the Srini country is Singapore. So only the Singapore data will be displayed in HR and sales. This is our condition. Let's try to create that. Go to modeling, manage roles, new role. Now we name this as manager role. Okay, our filter need to be country because they want to see their own country data. So in country table we need to put this filter, switch to DAX editor. Now what's the expression we need to give? Here you can see country equal to USA. No, this will not correct one because we need the manager's country data, not particularly USA. Next option, email equal to user principal name. Yes, this will works. Why? Because it will check the login mail ID and the manager's mail ID, and if that match, that data only displayed. Okay, so we try to assign this user principal name function. Click on save and close. Now try to view as manager. For example, I am viewing this as Juan at msn.com. Now you can see, now all the data is visible in HR table and sales table. What's our condition? If we log in as a Juan country is Brazil. So in HR and sales table, their own country, Brazil data need to be displayed. Let's check this. Click on OK. Here you can see only Brazil data is visible. So for the first one, country filter, email equal to user principal name is the correct option. Coming to the second role, CFO. What's the condition? CFO role must be prevent from seeing data in human resource table. Stop view. Okay. For CFO role, this HR table data will not be displayed. Let's try to create manage roles, new role. Name this role as CFO. Okay. Here HR table, we need to select HR table, switch to DAX editor. This HR table will be prevent from the showing the data. So which function is correct for this? You can see country USA is not, manager CFO is not, false. False is the correct one. Here no manager column. So here we can give false function so that HR table data is prevented from showing. Close. Now view as CFO role. You can see HR data is prevented when we try to view as CFO. What's the next condition? CFO must see the sales data for all the countries. Yes, for sales data, all the countries data is visible. So that we didn't put any filter for CFO role. Only we put filter on HR table false. So what's the correct option for HR table? False. For country table, the filter is use email equal to user principal name. So that this three condition will be matched for manager and